Maria Sharapova has become the darling of the tennis world. She's got the it factor on and off the court. At 17, she's the Wimbledon champion and WTA championships title holder. This young Russian has a defined vision of where she wants her game to go, all the way to the top. Justine Henin-Ardenne knows what it takes to be on top. She was the #1 player in the world until illness and injuries knocked her off the tour. But she's healthy now, on the comeback trail, and looks to be as dangerous as ever. Sharapova, Henin-Ardenne live next. The metropolis of Miami is booming, and each spring this community becomes headquarters of the tennis world. Welcome everyone to the NASDAQ 100 Open. Our feature women's quarterfinal match today. Justine Henin-Ardenne, Belgium, takes on Maria Sharapova of Russia. And a very friendly hello to everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale alongside Mary Jo Fernandez, and if you are an official of the WTA Tour, you are beaming today.
You're happy.
Because the Russians are here, they never left. The Belgians are back, the Williams sisters are back, and the draw is just a dream draw for women's tennis.
It really is. The quarterfinal matchups are terrific. The two top Americans, the two top Russians, the two top Belgians. Mauresmo, the top seed, plays an up-and-coming rising star in Ivanovic, who knocked out Kuznetsova yesterday, 7-5 in the third. We're going to see a lot from that teenager. Then Minteva and Clijsters, that's a rematch of last week's semifinal where Clijsters won and then took the Pacific Life Open. And then the Williams sisters are playing for the first time in a year and a half. And then the matchup we're going to see right now, Sharapova and Henin-Ardenne, the one I'm looking forward to.
Well, let's talk comebacks here, because we saw Kim Clijsters in a huge comeback last week in Indian Wells. She wins the Pacific Life Open. Now you've got Justine Henin-Ardenne, and I tell you what, she hasn't played much tennis in the last year, but it sure doesn't show.
Well, it's incredible because Justine Henin-Ardenne only played 9 tournaments last year. She won 5 of them, including the Australian Open and the Olympics. Now she hasn't played since the U.S. Open, comes to the NASDAQ 100 Open, and she's in the quarterfinal. She's very determined, and yesterday she had an upset over Alicia Malik from Australia, one of the hottest players on the Sony Ericsson WTA Tour in the last 7 months. She's won 4 tournaments, Alicia Malik, in the near court, and Malik serves well, she attacks well. She tried to put the pressure on Henin-Ardenne early, but Henin-Ardenne hit great passing shots, and Henin-Ardenne herself came out serving and volleying, mixing it up with the great variety that she possesses. Ardenne would win the first set. The second set, Malik would start to serve some aces, get herself back in the match. And in the third set, the trademark backhand was in full swing for Henin-Ardenne as she beats Malik 6-2 in the third. And she surprised herself, she said, with how well she played. But let's face it, she's gutsy, she is determined, she's been #1 in the world, and she's back already.
Yeah, determination certainly defines her. When you talk about Maria Sharapova, though, it's sort of unfair to group her with the Russians because she is a special and a singular personality in and of itself. I suppose looking back now at Wimbledon, it was such a huge surprise to everybody, but the way that she has played since then, Mary Jo, I guess you could say, in retrospect, it probably wasn't that big a surprise because she's a real player.
It definitely wasn't a fluke that she won Wimbledon. I think she didn't surprise herself because Maria Sharapova was born with the belief that she could be the best. Ever since she was a little girl, she's been training and practicing to be #1 in the world. She's #3 right now, very close to achieving that #1 ranking soon. And Sharapova is mentally so strong, Cliff. She loses in Australia to Serena after holding 3 match points. She wins 2 tournaments afterwards. Last week, she gets double bageled by Lindsay Davenport. I mean, it was a little bit embarrassing at the end, but she had this week to come back, and she's cruised through the draw. So she just keeps going, plugging forward, and she keeps improving.
So, as Patrick McEnroe would say, are we juiced and jacked for this?
We are.
Okay. This is really going to be good stuff, everybody. Justine Henin-Ardenne, comeback trail. Maria Sharapova, Wimbledon champ. Some nice pics down here, don't you, in the Miami area. This, among other things, is the cruise capital of the world. Warm welcome, everybody, to a beautiful day. Some spotty weather leading into this, a little heat, a little humidity, but today, perfect. You ever played against each other, these two? Justine Henin-Ardenne, former world's #1. As we said, injuries and illness sidelined her for a lot of last year. She's back. And Maria Sharapova took advantage, I suppose you could say, maybe of the lack of form and injuries to the Williams sisters to some extent, and the Belgians. But now everybody, well, not everybody, but close to everybody. By the way, Jennifer Capriati is having a birthday tomorrow.
That's right. We send out happy birthday to Jennifer, 29 today.
And she went through shoulder surgery
at the end of the Australian Open, and unfortunately it's going to take her a long time to recover. She's hoping to come back by the US Open.
That is a long time. Meanwhile, Sharapova here at the early stages of her career, 20-2 match record this year. Wimbledon champ last year. She won at the Staples Center in LA, the year-ending championship. In both of those championship matches, she beat Serena Williams.
Lost in the round 16 last year to Serena. That was the first time she had played Serena. She said that match helped her so much in getting over that intimidation factor when she played her at Wimbledon. Was much more relaxed. Pretty easy performances by Sharapova to get to this round. Asagawa yesterday of Japan 1 and 2. She's been serving well, getting a lot of balls back. She's been working a lot on her fitness and on her movement. She'll start off serving.
So Maria Sharapova, in her mind, she's saying, "Okay, Justine, I know you were number one, but while you were gone, I'm the girl." And or is she? Or is she saying?
Well, she's the one to beat, that's for sure. And Arden, after her win yesterday, said the pressure's on Sharapova. I'm coming back. I have nothing to lose. And by that first point, you can tell already the strategy is to be aggressive from the Belgian. These two haven't played in a professional tournament, but they did play in an exhibition a couple years ago when Anna Arden was at the top of her game, and it was 7-6 in the third in Belgium. I think this is going to be a great matchup because of the contrasting styles, of variety from Anna Arden, topspin slices, and the heavy hitting from Sharapova. Oh, it's going to be quite a match if we have rallies like that last one. And Arden mixing it up with the slice, with the high loopy ball. But Sharapova rips the cross-court winner on the run. She even threw in a little slice herself, something she's been working on.
Say that again, Major. She's been working on slice?
On the one-handed slice, something that she wants to add to her game for a little variety, especially if she gets stretched out wide. It'll help her recover.
Don't see a lot of it on the court yet. Sharapova holds. And Arden to serve. Kids Day today here, 2,000 kids invited, and a lot showed up, as you can see here. Daisy Fuentes was one of those in the group who was hosting Kids Day at the NASDAQ 100, and they were having a ball.
They had a terrific time, and you probably didn't know who those cartoon characters were, Cliffy, but I watch those two every morning. It's Maya and Miguel. They're on at 8 o'clock every day. My daughter Isabel loves them. The NASDAQ joined with Scholastic to really try to promote education and reading, and every year they bring out kids to watch the tennis, to go back to the Kids Zone where they can play all the games and serve and hit a few balls.
Love 15.
From Belgium, she's in the French-speaking part. Belgium, 22-year-old, very private person, but one with gritty determination. Those words come easily, gritty determination, gritty. But, I mean, in her case, if you try to put it in perspective, she must be one of the most determined women players maybe ever. The way that she decided to get herself in great shape and compete with the Williams sisters. And not only did she, but she became #1 in the world.
Well, we haven't seen her for a while. I think that's probably why we haven't mentioned her as one of the most intense players on the court. We've talked a lot about Serena and Maria being the top two, but you're absolutely right. Enna Arden's right up there with them. I mean, she sacrificed so much by working out extremely hard to compete with the Williams sisters. She got physically stronger, faster. She was a little rusty in her opening round against Spears from the USA, but then her level picked up 3-2 against the Spaniard, and then yesterday against Malik, a terrific match by Enna Arden.
Great point for Sharapova.
15-14.
Forced to come in off a miss-hit return, and Sharapova takes advantage. Lines up the passing shot beautifully.
Oh.
Breaker serve, 2 games to Sharapova. Has Justine put on a little muscle? I mean, her legs look stronger to me.
Well, she was so strong when she was winning her major titles, and then last year she gets sick midway through the year and had all that time off, and when she came back and won the Olympics, I think that took so much out of her. Got to the US Open and she really looked like she had lost 15 or 20 pounds. So I think, yes, since the US Open she's regained the weight and she's stronger. She's been in Florida for the last 5 weeks training up in Saddlebrook with Pat Etcheberry, her fitness trainer.
Love 15.
And she's rebuilding quickly. She and Clijsters were so consistent in 2003. I mean, they reached 20 out of 21 semifinals played. It was so much tennis, and Enna Arden blames the schedule for her getting sick last year.
Love 13.
You know, and some of us wondered whether it's Carlos Rodriguez, Enna Arden's coach since she was 14, whether Justine had just trained too much, whether she had overtrained to get to the top of women's game. But she said that no, it was just a strain of playing so many tournaments.
Well, I'd like to suggest that maybe it's the strain of her competitive deal with Kim Clijsters, because nobody's forcing you to play these tournaments. I think she just felt like she had to try to stay in front or stay with Kim.
Well, that's right. I mean, you can pick your schedule and play as many tournaments as you wish, but if you want to stay ranked 1, 2, 3, you do have to keep up the rest or play more than the rest.
Break points in Arden.
15-14.
But the way the rankings are set up on the Sony Ericsson WTA Tour, you're rewarded for the more tennis you play, more tournaments. Best of 17 ranking. So if you play 18, your one bad result doesn't count. So you see players playing 25, 26 events. Which, by the way, is so different from the days of Navratilova, Evert, even Graf and Sellis. I mean, they averaged about 15 tournaments a year, and now so much more. So that's one of the reasons why we do see so many injuries.
Well, plus there's more depth in the fields too. I mean, from the first round, these players now have really got to work hard. Still break point.
Deuce.
3 in a row for Sharapova. She's got to break her serve. Leads 2 games to love.
Currently ranked 40 Justine Henin-Ardenne, because she missed so much of last year. This is her first tournament back since the U.S. Open. She was one in 2003 when she won 2 majors, won the Australian Open at the beginning of last year. And played well when she played. She only played 9 events.
Advantage. Henin-Ardenne.
Well, it's easy to say she's rusty because she hasn't played that much. Well, I'm not sure, because sometimes the less you play, the more enthusiastic you are when you play. So I think there's some trade-off.
I think the toughest part when you don't play a lot is knowing and remembering what to do on the big points like this one.
On serve, first set.
Just great tennis by Sharapova.
Love 15.
And Ardenne opening up the court with the backhand cross court. That's how she likes to set up her rallies, but Sharapova handles it well with a double-handed backhand. It's that left hand that does the work, not only for the passing shot, but to get herself back in the rally. She's 6'1", so she's got a lot of reach as well.
Love 30.
Just after 1:20 in the afternoon here on the East Coast, and the tough time to be serving from where Henin-Ardenne, as you can see, looking up there at the sun. Yuri Sharapov is Maria's dad and coach. Well, I suppose in Maria's case,
15,
Mary Jo, it'd be more accurate to say he's the head coach, because she has others.
She's got a traveling coach in Michael Joyce, former ATP Tour player. And she will go to Robert Lansdorp out in California to practice. There's Michael Joyce in the red. She's trained at the Ferrero Academy in Spain during the clay court season in the past. But it's the dad, it's Yuri, who directs the training.
love 15, 14.
Second double fault. And Ardenne, like Sharapova, she goes up and hits it. She will throw in a few doubles, and she already knows that Sharapova can crack the second serve, so she's going to put a little extra on it today.
Game, Sharapova.
Sharapova breaks again, so Henin-Ardenne in 2 serve games hasn't held. 3-1 Sharapova. Birthday greetings to Jennifer Capriati, and on a personal note, Fred Wells, who's a great friend of tennis, is struggling with his health. He was instrumental in establishing the Fort Snelling Tennis and Learning Center up there in the Minneapolis area. Happy birthday to you, Fred, and good luck.
Couldn't ask for a much better start for Sharapova.
15, love.
Really tactically playing very well. She's stepping into the court, looking to come in, knocks off this volley with a lot of ease. She's not the most comfortable at the net yet, but that's something she's working on. Saw her at the end of last year when she won the season-ending championships, mix in the serve and volley, hit some returns and come in.
30, love.
And that's just going to make her a more complete player.
30-15.
Pierre-Yves Arden, Justine's husband. Married a couple years ago. Travels with Justine full time.
Tell that story how they met, if you know it, Mary Jo. As I remember it, he was getting a prize for winning a local tennis tournament, and she was presenting the prizes as a sort of visiting celebrity, and that's all she wrote.
It was a love match. Do remember, though, they honeymooned in the Caribbean so she can get back to practicing quickly. But that was pretty interesting.
40-30.
Got married at the end of the year, and she trains in Saddlebrook right before Australia, so they took a quick honeymoon to the Caribbean, and it was back to practice.
Game Sharapova.
Sharapova has started out very well. If she's tight, if she's nervous, it's not showing. 4-1.
Sharapova leads 4 games to 1.
4-1 to Sharapova,
Love
first set.
15.
And Arden hasn't held serve yet.
Actually only won 2 points on serve. And she's actually serving a high percentage, 82%. But they're just coming back harder and quicker than she's prepared for.
15 all.
This is where you have to start thinking about maybe changing the pace of the serve, changing the location when your opponent is just reading it and climbing all over it.
Mary Jo, you said something yesterday that I found interesting. You said that Sharapova's
13-15.
forehand has improved so much over the last year. And I found it interesting because I don't remember seeing her when she didn't have a good forehand.
She always hit it hard, but it wasn't as consistent. She made a lot of errors from the forehand. And now she's really developed the forehand as a weapon. She looks to hit the forehand. If it's in the middle of the court, she's going to run around and hit the forehand, where before she would take it on the backhand. The backhand is still, though, the strength, the steady shot. She can rely on that backhand all day long.
Oh, that's very nice. And another great chance here for Sharapova. You're watching live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open with Drysdale, Mary Jo Fernandez, watching Justine Arden and Maria Sharapova. Andre Agassi, Gaston Gaudio, who is the French Open champ, to follow. And then tonight, Venus and Serena Williams. A very nice. There's Federer and Anchik. He'll play also today. 4-1 first set, Sharapova. Break point.
And the second serve hasn't won a point on her second serve in Arden yet in this first set.
Deuce.
Monfils going down to Dominique Herbati, 3-3. The young French kid that French tennis has such high hopes for.
Body knocked out Safin. previous round.
Plays the winner of the Ferrero match. They're both from Spain.
Constant pressure from Sharapova,
Advantage Sharapova.
giving Anna Ardern any time to really set up for her shot. And Ardern trying to change up the pace. That one too short. And Sharapova has plenty of time to hit it on the rise for the winner.
Nets for serve.
Well, that was close. Just clips
Just
the line.
touched it.
First ace for Anna Ardern.
Advantage Sharapova.
She's just, I mean, throws up a second serve, and Sharapova is just dealing with it like it was nothing. Break point. And another breaker serve, so it's 5-1. Sharapova with Anna Ardern having served 3
Sharapova
times,
leads 5
still
games
hasn't
to
held.
1.
Frustrating start for the Belgian, Mary Jo.
Extremely. Not much he's been allowed to do, though. It's been Sharapova forcing the issue. Getting that first crack in the rally. And for Anna Ardern, she's got to do her best job to get some more depth on her shots. But it's not easy when they're coming so hard and so fast. Such a pretty shot to watch. Definitely a shot I missed last year. The one-handed backhand of Anna Ardern. Such a heavy top spin. Beautiful swing. Hmm.
15 all.
What do you do? Agassi against Gaston Gaudio. Up next, quick reminder that 3 o'clock we're going to switch networks from ESPN to ESPN2, so you'd guess that some of that match is going to be seen on ESPN2 later. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern time.
30,
It's
15.
now about 1:35.
What do you do? Her 14th winner of the set for Sharapova.
Set points.
Game to set Sharapova.
Relatively easy. No, it was an easy first set for Sharapova, and that's a big surprise. 6-1. Cleveland downtown looks just like that, Major, with all those palm trees and things waving.
Almost, it's close.
6-1 first set to Sharapova. I'm having some fun.
Second set.
Some fun
Then
with
serve.
Major because she was a Key Biscayne and now she lives in Cleveland.
I'm still a Key Biscayner, just not as much as you. Let's take a look at our NASDAQ 100 Open match summary. A lot of winners for Sharapova. +3 differential. And Arden just has not been able to dictate. And I think, we've been asking, what does she do now? Well, number one, she's got to hold serve.
15 love.
And number two, I think she's got to gamble. I think she now has to take more chances. She tried to mix it up in that first set with some slices, some high balls. That didn't work. So she's got the ability to do different things. So let's try to, I think, step it up a little bit, maybe come to net.
$15 all.
Not serve and volley, right? But wait for the time to come in.
She's got to put the pressure on Sharapova because Sharapova is dictating immediately. But the serve is definitely not working for En Arden. Now, the longer the rally can go, the better it is for En Arden. A little concern from Pierre-Yves, En Arden's husband, and Carlos at the moment. But she's got to hit it deep. If she's going to hang in there in the rally, she's got to get that ball deep along the baseline, or else Sharapova is going to be all over it.
Oh, that's the sun. That's the sun. It was in her eyes. Looked up at that one and then was blinded. It's a terrible time of day. Now at just 20 minutes to 2. Look at this. She pulled away from it, pulled her head down.
Let it drop too. She wanted to hit an overhead originally, and then it got a little too low on her.
Well, on the serve you can toss the ball where you want to, away outside of the sun, but on the overhead you're stuck.
$30-40.
Break point for Sharapova to continue to dominate in this match.
Game Sharapova.
Breaker serve, Sharapova in the lead. One game in the second set. En Arden only able to get one game in the first, and that was on Sharapova's serve. So this has been so unusual. I mean, you look at this match going into it, Mary Jo, and you say you've got En Arden, former world number one. She's got all the shots. She's speedy around the court. She's going to be able to chase everything down, but she has not been able to chase them down.
Not yet. Let's hope that she will soon. We had a similar situation last week. Sharapova was on the other end where En Arden is playing against Lindsay Davenport. We were expecting a terrific match. They had played a couple times. They were 3-setters. And Davenport just came out and blasted Sharapova off the court. And so far, it's been Sharapova doing the blasting out here today.
$15
And I really felt that En Arden had enough variety to mix it up against Sharapova to get the ball out of the strike zone. Sharapova likes the pace, likes the power. She's always had difficulties with the low balls. But she is all over it today. Moving her feet well up to the ball, except that one. And Arden moving in and blocking this volley for the winner. I think maybe that's something she has to try to do, but again, it's so difficult when the ball's coming so fast from the other end. It's easier said than done. Patch or something falling off.
She's got to be careful of those patches. Let's see, it could be Motorola, could be Nike, it could be Pepsi, could be Honda, could be Tag Heuer, the watch, Canon. She is endorsing a whole variety of products.
Pretty remarkable since her Wimbledon win. The endorsements have just been rolling in. And I think tennis will benefit actually from all the endorsements. She's taking next week to film a bunch of commercials. She filmed the Nike commercial in LA before the Pacific Life.
15-14.
So it'll be promoting not only Sharapova, but more promoting the game. A lot like when Agassi came out and he had all those commercials with the, I think it was Canon as well. Nike. It's all good for the sport.
He still does.
It's true. Couple break points. Important for Anna Arden to break this momentum that Sharapova holds right now.
Oh, that is a clean ace. Anna Arden looking at it, wondering whether she should complain, but that was perfectly played. Two corners. Sharapova was smart. She backed up on that one instead of trying to hit it out of the air because, again, where the sun is there, this is so hard. And she hit the ground stroke instead, kept her alive, and it's deuce.
Advantage Sharapova.
The serve is such an important part of Sharapova's arsenal, and her mechanics are so good. 2 games to Sharapova in the second set. Take a look at it here. Watch how the arms go down together and then up together. The knees bend. Look at this now. Eyes on the ball, knees bent, and now she uncoils into it. Let it go, guys. And look how she uncoils into it, and now she's at full stretch every time. First and second serve. Her feet are off the ground, and bam, that serve is mechanically so solid.
Not much can go wrong with the Sharapova serve.
Exactly.
I think it can only get better the stronger she gets. Reason why she'll be a huge factor at Wimbledon again. That first serve's going to win her a lot of easy points.
And Mary Jo, if you don't have a serve to match her serve, and your second serve is suspect in any way, you're in real trouble against her, because her return is so vicious.
Love.
Andre Agassi up next against the French Open champ Gaston Gaudio, number 7 seed, against Agassi, who's number 9. But in the hearts of the Miami folks, where he's won this tournament 6 times, more than anybody in history, he's the top seed. 30 love.
Arden's trying to hold serve for the first time in the match. You talk about the big return of Sharapova. Not playing against a bad server in Arden. Forty love. A few errors this game for Sharapova, but she's just been hurting her with the pace and the depth off the return.
Game point for Arden to win her first serve game. Agassi, Gaudio. Prediction?
I'm one of those Miami fans. Agassi.
Arden finally wins the serve game. And it is Sharapova who leads with a break 2-1. It is Kids Day here, and kids doing what they always do, trying to beat the heck out of each other. 2 games to 1 Sharapova. She'll serve and we come back. Live coverage continuing of the NASDAQ 100 Open. Maria Sharapova with a break in the second set. She easily won the first, 2-1.
Love 15.
Starting to produce some unforced errors.
Love 13.
Finally a little patch of uncertainty from Sharapova, and Arden has to do whatever she can to take advantage of this lapse in concentration.
I like that
15,
patch of uncertainty, because that's basically what Federer said without using those words after his match with Zabaleta yesterday. He had that patch of uncertainty in the middle of the match. He was up 5-3 in the second set, lost the set, and struggled.
It was strange to see, because all of a sudden his timing was so off. He was mishitting balls. But he found a way to pull through.
30 all.
Break point for Arden after another unforced error from Sharapova.
She broke once in the first set. In fact, the only game she won in the first set was a break. It was in the second game.
thing you have to love about Yuri's daughter is that when things get close, they get tight, she doesn't back away. She continues to apply the pressure, continues to go for her shots.
Net for serve.
Tough to believe she's only 17. By the way, birthdays are sort of like we're talking birthdays a lot here.
Around the corner, she'll be 18 next month.
19th of April.
She's still waiting to get her driver's license, Cliff. She has her permit, loves to drive.
Advantage. And another.
Hasn't had enough time, though. In her shakiest game of the match, couple doubles, couple unforced errors. See, already in 3 games, she's got 9 unforced errors. She only had 12 in the entire first set.
Deuce.
You can tell Anna Arden's trying to do a little bit more with her
Exactly,
shots.
just what I was thinking, because she sees the
Sees the
period of
little
uncertainty.
opening,
What
yes.
did you, yeah.
A little patch there, and she sees the opening. She wants to hit a little harder, almost looking at where she wants to hit it, and that's why she's mishitting it.
Advantage Sharapova. Game Sharapova.
Sharapova holds, and it's
Sharapova leads
3 games to 1. That was a little delicate there, as she's making these unforced errors that you've been talking about here, but not enough for Anna Arden's enjoyment.
I think that was
Andre
her
Agassi.
window.
Sorry, Andre Agassi up next. Venus and Serena Williams tonight against each other.
15 love.
As many times as Venus and Serena have played against each other, these two have never played, Sharapova and Anna Arden. Anna Arden's only 22 years old, by the way. We talk about her like, she's a veteran.
Worst loss in Anna Arden's career came to fellow countrywoman Clijsters. The championships 2-1. But she's never lost love and love. Sharapova got over that love and love quickly.
Live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open is what you're watching. We are near Miami, Key Biscayne, Anna Arden and Sharapova. First set to Sharapova 6-1. She is the Wimbledon champion and the year-ending championships at the Staples Center. Sharapova getting the semi-final of Australia this year. Anna Arden making a comeback. But it's been a struggle for Enarden because just like that last point was indicative of, Sharapova just got so much more
30
power.
all.
She's just been on her heels all day. And when she's got that opportunity, she won't, or hasn't been able to execute. She goes for the delicate drop shot. She was behind the baseline. She knew right when she hit it, wasn't going to get to the net. Almost a sign of fatigue.
Agassi and Gaudio up next here on this stadium court at the NASDAQ. Pivotal moment right now. 30 all, down 1-3. That's too tough. There's the insurance break for Maria Sharapova in the second set. 4-1, representing 2 breaks. She won the first set 6-1. 4-1 in the second set. 2 breaks of serve, 6-1. Sharapova in the first. She's about to serve. Another gentle reminder, everybody, that at the top of the hour, that's in about 55 minutes time, we'll be switching networks, and you'll be interested in that because Agassi is up next against Gaston Gaudio.
Love 15.
It's another one with, I mean, this match had very interesting dynamics coming into it. Very interesting. That Gaston Gaudio Agassi one has got some pretty interesting dynamics also. The French Open champ against the local hero Agassi.
Not just local, worldwide hero in Agassi. Gaudio prefers the slower courts. Agassi loves the conditions here. Been playing so well the last few weeks.
How great is that PMAC? He comes in here with a nice little cookie for you, Mary Jo. He wants you to stay enthusiastic.
He wants to keep me happy. He wants to keep me very happy.
He's chomping at the bit, waiting for Agassi, enjoying this match, but wait.
Such an eager beaver, PMAC.
15-30. Is this too little too late, Mary Jo, or can she turn it around in Arden?
Well,
it's hard to imagine.
Hard to imagine. It's happened before. But I think her major chance came a couple games ago. Had she broken Sharapova in the previous game, then I think she'd be in a better position.
Sharapova saves 1 break point. Still chance for Enarden to get 1 break back here. She's down 2 breaks in the second.
and Arden.
And Arden breaks for the second time in the match.
Sharapova leads 4 games to 2.
For 2 Sharapova in the second set, first set 6-1.
Getting a little help from Sharapova. She has just struggled too much on serve.
Thanks, Boy.
Only held once today.
Love.
One time she held was the last time she served here from this side.
Love.
Points here for Ann Arden just to get within 1 game of Sharapova. So we've seen a mini turnaround after 1 hour of play. Out of reach, and it's 4-3. Have we got a ball game? Have we?
Stay tuned.
Live coverage of the NASDAQ 100 Open as Maria Sharapova got the big lead. She led 4-1 in the second. She won the first 6-1. And Arden has won the last couple of games. So this becomes a huge game.
First real pressure moment for Sharapova. She has had the lead, has been in front throughout very comfortably. Second set, though, has not been as smooth as the first. A lot more errors.
Net, second serve.
Just wide. It's pretty tough to keep up the level of tennis that Sharapova started this match with. She was seeing the ball so well, taking it early, going for the corners. As the match progresses, you do get a little tired. You don't get to the ball as quickly. And that's why a few more mistakes start to roll in.
They're so deep on those passing shots. That mishit return from Ann Arden is a tough thing to track down, and Sharapova was all over it like a bad rash. And then this next one, just the same thing. Deep backhand to the baseline, drawing the error. This is a game point for Sharapova.
Sharapova.
Game away now as Sharapova leads 5-3.
Sharapova leads 5 games.
Andre Agassi up next here on center court at the Nasdaq 100. Takes on Gaston Gaudio, the French Open champ. Andre Agassi has won not only the French, he's won Wimbledon, the Australian, and the US Open.
His birthday's coming around the corner as well.
He'll be
35?
Yep, 35.
15 love.
April 29th. And he shows no signs of slowing down.
He loves the challenge.
And he is such a
13
precious jewel of the sport that I hope he stays around forever. Look, Kenny Rosewall played the final of Wimbledon when he was 39. Played the final of at Forest Hills US Open when he was 39.
Jimmy Connors.
He was 39. I think
He was
he
almost
was
40,
40
when he got to the semis of the US Open.
exactly. So stick around, Andre. In Ardennes trying to hang on.
30-15.
Trying to see if she can win this game and then make Sharapova serve from that sunny side for the match. Put a little pressure on this 17-year-old Russian. I guess that really is rusty, because she's tried a couple of drop shots that not even close.
She's known for her good feel with that drop shot. That last one looked like she had trouble after the serve, looking up into the sun, focusing right away. We're so used to seeing these top players come back and win all their matches, but let's remember, this is Anna Ardennes' first tournament since last year's US Open.
That one works. Gave it a little more air, and that was just fine. And Ardennes got a game point.
14-13.
Totally fooled Sharapova. Didn't see it coming. Looked like she was going to hit the one-handed at the last time. Minute, she just cuts underneath it, and that's a shot that's going to be effective on the clay courts. She's looking forward to getting ready to play on the clay and get ready for the French. What I think is her best surface.
Game. Anna Ardennes.
But she's an all-surface player. Won a lot of slams. It's called the Tennis Center at Crandon Park. And it's a public facility, by the way, so anybody can come here, show up, pay $3 or $4 or $5 maybe, and play tennis on these championship courts.
15 love.
Sharapova serving for the match. 15 love.
Good points from Sharapova.
30 love.
Not panicking, 5-4, serving for the match. Never played Anna Arden tour event.
Love.
It's a tough thing to do to serve for a match, isn't it? I mean, anybody who's played the game of tennis, and I'm not talking about at this level, just at any level, you serve for the set, tough. Serve for the match, it's even tougher, but Sharapova has handled it well. Game point and set point and match point. Sharapova is not immune from nerves, but she's learned how to handle them.
That makes a difference. The top level, everybody gets tight, everybody gets nervous. It's how you deal with it. One more match point coming up. Sharapova used to just going for her shots no matter what the score is.
Three in a row for Anna Arden to keep herself in this. It's deuce at 4-5 in the second set. And the momentum, mini momentum anyway, in this game has changed.
Finally, Anna Arden with some time set up and hit her forehand. And more power on those last couple shots.
Second serve on a huge point. That's out. Here's a break chance. 4 straight points. Anna Arden, we were talking about just a second ago. Mary Jo about handling the pressure. Anna Arden has done a wonderful job here of taking it to Sharapova in this huge game. She did get tight. You know, that two-handed backhand there, but she still, yes. She didn't go for that one, and it sort of went downhill from there for Sharapova. Now, believe it or not, I mean, it's 4-1, 2 breaks in the second set.
We said stranger things have happened, and when you're playing against a champion like Anna Arden, you just have to expect that she's not going to give up. She's going to raise the level of her game. Now for Sharapova right now, she could be thinking of those 3 match points she lost in Australia to Serena in that semis. They weren't in a row like they were here.
Love 15. Net for serve. 15
different
all.
match right now. And Arden getting more confident with each shot, speeding up the forehand, accelerating through it.
30-15.
So that mini momentum of the last game is carried through here as Anna Arden has got a chance here in the next couple of points to go up in any set.
All of a sudden, she's able to step inside the baseline, take the ball early. Just a little slight backing away from the shot from Sharapova. It's all that it's taken. Poor shot selection that time, however, from Anna Arden.
Well, I'm not sure about the selection, but the execution was terrible.
Well, Sharapova was pretty close to the baseline. Even if it had been a little bit better, I think Sharapova would have run down the drop shot.
Game point in Arden for 6-5 now and a lead in the second set.
Net. Second serve.
That is out.
Deuce.
In Arden, looking at this one, saying, "Are you sure?" Shot spot says, "Yep."
Just.
Whistles from the crowd. They want to be a part of this thing. Little interactivity.
Alison Lang in the chair.
Deuce.
Advantage, Sharapova.
One of the characters from Lewis Carroll. Very, very interesting.
Deuce.
Oh, man. The twists and turns now that have become a part of this match. It was, I mean, it's a set, 6-1, 4-1, 2 breaks in the second set, and suddenly.
This is what we were hoping for. We were expecting a competitive match. We got it right now.
Well, so MJ, we've got now what we expected, which was the power of Sharapova balanced by the speed and tenacity of Anna Arden, which is beginning to take control.
Advantage, Anna Arden.
Well, Anna Arden herself has picked up the power in her game. She's hitting with more juice. She knows that she can feel she's right in there right now. Look at the difference between the first and second set. Only 3 winners for Anna Arden and 14 so far in the second.
Anna Arden's in front. For the first time really in the match. In a set, Anna Arden in front, and Maria is frustrated.
Leads 6 games to par.
Maria Sharapova to serve now to try to get into a tiebreak after she had 3 match points on her serve the last time she served. She had 4-1 in the second set behind 2 breaks. She won the first easily 6-1. But Anna Arden has turned this thing around totally.
Love 15.
Combination of factors. She got a little help from Sharapova to get back in the set, but then once she got back in it, she really picked up her game, really started going more for her shots, coming in more. Another aggressive point by Anna Arden, really attacking the serve. And now she's 2 points away from leveling this match.
It's like we're headed for a third set. And this story
Love 14.
is by no means over yet. It'll be so interesting to see how Sharapova handles what's happened here in the last 5 games.
– 15-14. Wait, please.
It's good.
Look for it down the line. Clean winner. She wanted to set over on that last swing. Boy, this becomes a big point now. This was terrific stuff there. Very aggressive play from Sharapova. Anna Arden hanging on. She was on her heels for the first set and a half. Now she's on her toes. Still set point. Sharapova saves 3.
Deuce.
Sharapova said after a loss to Serena at the Australian Open when she had the 3 match points that she learned you can't be passive out there whatsoever. She felt that she allowed Serena to go for her shot. Serena hit 2 winners on 2 of the match points. And for us, you know, we see her, she hits. But when she just backs off of it a little bit, that makes the difference.
Advantage Anna Arden.
Fourth set point for the Belgian.
No, that's wide. Another deuce.
Advantage Sharapova.
Almost, correct me if I'm wrong, Mary Jo, but almost an intimidation factor in the early stages here with Sharapova hitting so hard, and Enarden didn't seem like she had an answer, but now she is really in the middle of every point. Maybe it was the rusty factor.
Maybe.
Of not having played a lot.
It very well could be it.
Game Sharapova.
That's a great comeback by Sharapova in that game.
6
Down
games
love
all
40 and then
tiebreak.
down another set point. And a tiebreak's going to decide the outcome of this instead. Both had chances. Sharapova on her serve at 40 love for the match, and then Enarden with those chances that you've just seen in this last game.
Sharapova.
Enarden is a more efficient mover, and it showed in that point.
1-all.
Backhand down the line, set up the forehand. Takes a little steps to adjust. One.
Oh. 2-1, Sharapova.
109 miles an hour. Ace up the middle. I think it really helps Sharapova how methodical she is. She really takes her time between points. Maybe a little extra when she loses a point to regroup.
Oh, that's a good comeback. The 1-2 punch. Serve and then forehand winner.
And Arden realized halfway through that second set that she had to step up into that baseline. She had to start taking some balls earlier. Take advantage of the pace she was getting from Sharapova.
3-2, Enarden.
Leicesters in the finals. Dominated for a while in the absence of the Williams sisters and before the emergence of the Russians, and then when the Williams sisters were sidelined and the Belgians were sidelined, then last year the Russians made their move, including Sharapova, who won Wimbledon, Miskina, who won the French championships, and then Kuznetsova winning the US Open. And not to forget that one of the Russians was in 2 of those Grand Slam finals as well, Elena Dementieva.
Now we got them all together.
4-3, Enarden.
Goes to 7, wins the set. 4-3 Enarden, and she's going to serve 2 now.
Tried to sneak play, the serve and volley.
Risky.
Very risky at 4-3 in the breaker. Sharapova too solid on that last return. Bold though, risky but bold.
Allez, says the Belgian from the French part of Belgium. Kim Clijsters from the Flemish side. But their careers are so parallel in so many ways, the two Belgians. Same age, about the same number of titles. That's wide.
6-4.
And again, a couple of set points.
And another.
A couple more.
The fifth one coming up. Getting Sharapova on the run. Remember, Sharapova had triple match point at 5-4. They're pushing each other.
And another.
So now what, Mary Jo, on this one, after they have to serve and volley attempt, now what does she do?
I don't think she'll serve and volley again. But I think she'll go for the first serve. She's got to stay aggressive.
She did stay aggressive and she got what she wanted, and then that netted backhand play changed ends after 6 points. Sharapova, I don't think she realizes that this is time to switch.
It's a trademark shot, the one-handed backhand cross court. She makes that 8 out of 10 times.
Not supposed to be a pause after 6 points in the tiebreak.
But they're both taking a little extra time.
So this is her seventh set point for in Ardennes. But again, you got to remember that that's after 3 match points, as you pointed out a little while ago, that Sharapova had on her own serve. At 5-4 the set. Little slice backhand there into the backhand of Sharapova.
7 games to 6.
And we're going to see a third set, and this one now is so difficult to predict. This is what we're expecting, and now we've got it.
And it comes just a little while ago when Maria Sharapova served for the match at 40 love, mishits the first
14-15.
backhand. Then on the second match point, Ball was in the center of the court. Sharapova really didn't move her feet. Look at that, it got away. It's going to get away from her coming up. On that one, that was the first defensive point from Sharapova. Then she has one more. And Anna Ardern steps up into the court, starts to dictate on the last match point Sharapova would have. Breaks the serve. And that's why she's back in this match.
We'll keep an eye on what's happening here and we'll fill you in. We'll take a break first. Sharapova being attended to here by the trainer. Set a piece.
Thank you.
Third set getting underway here as Maria Sharapova, after being attended to, is ready to serve. Reminder everyone, we are on ESPN watching this match, and you're invited at the top of the hour, it's about 5 minutes away now, to switch to ESPN 2, which is where we'll be headed here on ESPN. Up next, NBA Inside Stuff. So if you want to watch the end of this match, ESPN 2, top of the hour. Andre Agassi will follow this match. He takes on Gaston Gaudio, French Open champ.
Sharapova getting her lower back stretched during that medical timeout. For the first time this year, she's had some aches and pains, some shoulder soreness. In Australia, her lower back actually was ailing her a bit. Playing a lot more than she's used to, getting to semis and finals consistently now. She's also pushing herself on her days off to train, not only on the tennis court, but in the gym, doing sprints as well, and trying to get as fit as possible for the clay court season. Her goal is the French Open. It's going to be the toughest for her to win.
So you know everybody, at the top of the hour we'll be switching to ESPN 2. Won't be immediately at the top of the hour that you lose us on ESPN unless it happens to coincide with the commercial break, which does not look like that'll happen. So we'll be on both networks for a little while longer after the top of the hour. Sharapova wins the first game.
This game, final set
of the third set.
Let's take a look at our Sony Ericsson shot of the day. And it comes from Justine Henin-Ardenne. After a set and a half, she struggled. She was on her heels. She reestablishes herself by taking the ball early, using her heavy topspin, working Sharapova from corner to corner, and then finishing it up with the winner down the line. Major turnaround in this match. 6-1, 4-1 Sharapova, 2 breaks. Then Henin-Ardenne saves 3 match points and takes the tiebreak to level this match at 1 set apiece.
Now 1 game to Sharapova. Henin-Ardenne to serve.
Henin-Ardenne has to expect Sharapova to go for even more. Being bothered a little bit by her lower back. She doesn't want to have to run a lot, have any long rallies. going to try to keep these points as short as possible.
Love 15.
She looks a little worried.
Love 30.
Love 30 in this game at 1 to Sharapova. Her move, Sharapova served for it at 5-4. She had 3 match points, failed. Enarden wins it in the tiebreak. Early stages now of the third set. It's 1 to Sharapova. Enarden serving 15-30. Cliff Drysdale, Mary Jo Fernandez alongside Andre Agassi up next here on this NASDAQ 100 Open Stadium court.
Big hitting from Sharapova. He's taking the injury timeout. Sharapova has come out, hitting the corners, going for her shots even more. Two break points.
Well, Sharapova came out firing very well here from the beginning of this third set. She's got the break at 2 games to love. Sharapova last year winning the Wimbledon Championships, at the end of the year winning the WTA Tour ending championships, the Staples Center in Los Angeles, beating some Russian players that she'd never beaten before. Which to me was a turning point in her career, which had got off to a very good start anyway with the Great Wimbledon Championship win in the final over Serena Williams, and she repeated over Serena in the WTA Championship, then lost to her in the semi-final at Australia, but it was very close.
She had 3 match points in that match, Sharapova. That misses, and you wonder if she thinks about that now in her matches when she's up. Had 3 match points here. Didn't capitalize. And Arden, this is her first tournament back since last year's U.S. Open. She had a mono-like illness during the year. Didn't play much. When she played well. Won the Australian Open, won the gold medal in Athens. And then tried to come back in Sydney this year and hurt her knee in practice. So she's just been practicing for the last 4 weeks.
Terrific draw here, the last 8 of the women's. Mary Jo with the Williamses against each other, and then Ivanovic is a really interesting story as well in and of itself.
She's 17 years old, had a couple upsets, beat Petrova, beat Kuznetsova yesterday, being down a break in the third. You have Dementieva, last year's runner-up, against Clijsters, who's also making a comeback. The Williams sisters up tonight. Serena's dominated that rivalry the last few years. But all the top players
40-15.
playing at the same time. That's what we've been waiting for. More rivalries will develop.
Game point for 3-love.
Game, Sharapova.
Sharapova holds. It's 3-love. She leads in the third set. This is for a spot in the semifinals. That's wide. This is Enarden serving, trailing 3-love in the third set. She won that point, 15-love. Enarden winning her first Grand Slam, the French Championships 2 years ago, and then she won the US Open that year and the Australian in 04.
False.
Then illness and injury, for the most part, took care of the rest of her year.
30-love.
Not all of it, but a lot of it. In fact, she came back to win Olympic gold. That's amazing. In the middle of her illnesses and injuries. Game point here for Enarden. Just so you know, everybody, we're on ESPN2 and ESPN at the moment. For those of you watching us on ESPN, you'll be able to see the end of this match over on ESPN2, and then Andre Agassi coming up live here at the NASDAQ 100 Open.
Oh, that's nice. Flick of the wrist from Sharapova on this running
40-15.
backhand passing shot up the line. It's behind her, and she's still strong enough to get around the ball. Get this one by Enarden.
The winner of this match takes on the winner of the Williams sisters. They'll be playing tonight.
Net for serve.
They both had tough matches last night. Venus winning in 3 over a qualifier from Colombia, Castaño, and Serena over Lehotova, 6-4 in the third.
Out of reach. Game Enarden. She's on the board in the third set, 3-1.
Sharapova leads 3-1.
Much more positive game by Enarden, realizing she's going to have to stay aggressive. Can't expect Sharapova to make the mistake. You have to take it to her, take the ball early. Carlos Rodriguez to the right of your screen has been working with Enarden. She was 14, and her husband of a couple years, Pierre-Yves, on the left.
$15-love.
They were married in 2002 in November. Château de la Vaux-Saint-Aing. Enarden says that Montreal's her favorite place. Her godmother lives there, French-speaking Canada. Outside of home, of course.
so used to seeing the double-handers be able to take the ball early off the return, but look how well En Arden turns her shoulders, gets the ball in front. You have to be strong to execute that return serve. Much easier with the two hands. You get a lot more support from the left arm. It was there to hit the backhand winner. Just missing.
(40-15).
Game point now for Sharapova. A little lucky with this return. Cross court angle, a little bit of a miss hit, but En Arden will take it.
Off the net and on the line, and Sharapova wins the game. She's got 4 games to 1. Representing one break here in the third set. She lost the second after a big lead. Same thing gonna happen here. 4-1 to Sharapova, one breaker serve. Arguably the most beautiful shot in tennis here from Justine Hénard, the backhand side. I want to show you something here that's really important for everybody that hits a one-handed backhand. See how she takes it back. Now let's freeze it right there. All right. At this point, the shoulders have not turned, have they? She's still sideways to the net. Now, a two-handed player, that's very different. Keep it there, guys. Don't roll it yet. A two-handed player has already rotated the shoulders into it. She is still sideways. If you're a one-handed player, stay. All right, now let it roll until you hit the ball, and then you can let... You see how she's still sideways. Now the momentum of the swing will take her through a little bit. But that's a huge help if you're a one-handed backhand player. 4-1. Sharapova.
There it is. She does hold that position as long as possible. And I think it helps her disguise this one-handed backhand. Really don't know if it's going up the line or cross court. Again, sideways at the last minute, just like you were talking about, Cliff. If you had to pick
30 love
between an En Arden backhand or a Sharapova backhand, one-handed versus a two, which one?
Oh, that's a tough question. That's like saying Roger Federer versus an Andre Agassi, for example. It's just very, very hard to know. Very hard. It's like Pete Sampras. He had a two-hander and went to a one because he wanted to win Wimbledon, and he figured that that would help him.
Well played by En Arden. 40 love. With the one-handed backhand, you have much more variety.
40 love.
There she hits over it and sneaks in to put away the volley.
One-handed backhand seems to be easier to make the transition to the net and hit volleys as well.
For sure. I think the toughest thing is the return. I think you get so much help with the two hands when you're returning against a big server.
40-15.
A little more control.
40-15 En Arden down 4-1, one break.
But ideally, you'd want to have both. Have that steady two-handed shot and then be able to go to the one-handed slice like a Mats Wilander did so well.
This is a huge game for Enarden. She's down a break already. Remember, she was down 2 breaks in the second set and was able to claw her way out of it. Enarden holds. It's 4-2.
Sharapova leads 4 games to 2.
First set going to Sharapova easily, 6 games to 1, and then Sharapova got out to a big lead, 2 breaks in the second set. But Enarden came back. Sharapova served for it at 5-4, had 3 match points, failed, and then Enarden wins it in the tiebreak. Now we're in the third set. Sharapova out to a big lead, 3 games to love. Now 4-2.
Love.
Sharapova was in total control in the first set. Had 3 more winners and unforced errors. And in the beginning of the second set, she had a lapse of concentration. The unforced errors started to creep in. She won a couple games that she could have lost early on. That's why she had 4-1. But then the match started to become much more even. Whether the lower back was starting to bother her a little bit. She was hitting the ball a little bit later. Not as powerful. And Enarden took full advantage.
Love.
Game points for a 5-2 lead for Sharapova now. Had the feeling that Sharapova was going to have trouble. She was attended to after the second set. Lower back, and on the other hand, Enarden had just made a huge comeback and that the momentum was on her side. But that's not how it turned out.
Game, Sharapova.
Sharapova holds. It's 5-2. Third set. We're live at the Nasdaq 100 Open.
Sharapova
this is for a spot in the last 4. Number 2 seed here, Maria Sharapova. Boy, it has been a wild ride for her just in this match alone. It looked like she had this match in total control, and now again she's got 5-2 in the third set.
15 love.
Cliff, I think the injury, she called the trainer after she lost the second set. I think it's helped her. It's given her something else to think about. Forget about the 3 match points she didn't convert on. Remember, she had 3 match points in Australia against Serena. Lost that match. And want to or not, you always remember those matches. They always come back to haunt you in some form.
And how much does she want this game, Mary Jo? Because remember, it was Sharapova who served from that side when she served for the match. She had 40-love in that game and lost it. That gave Enarden an opening which she barged through. Whoa. The long-legged Sharapova getting to that one in plenty of time, and she's 2 points away from the match.
Drop shot not good enough. Plenty of time for Sharapova to run it down and hit the winner.
30 all.
Patrick McEnroe is like our weather vane for this match. It's set in 4-1 and he shows up because he thinks he's on the air soon because Agassi is just around the corner. Then he leaves for a long time. So you figure that when he shows up, he thinks it's the end of the match.
Be careful.
So he's back. Match point coming up here for Maria Sharapova. That is an exciting reaction from young 17-year-old Maria Sharapova, who came back after Enna Arden had made her comeback. Just so you know, for those of you who have been watching us on ESPN, thank you. We'll say goodbye to you as we go to commercial break. You want to watch Andre Agassi? This would be a good time to switch over to ESPN2.
Sharapova advances to the semis where she waits for the winner of either Serena or Venus. They're playing tonight.
Again, goodbye to our ESPN viewers. Presentation of ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. Switch to ESPN2 now if you want to watch live coverage. NASDAQ 100 Open, Andre Agassi against the French Open champ Gaston Gariot. 6-2 in the third set. Justine Enna Arden going down to Maria Sharapova, the number 2 seed.
Let's take a look at our ADT between the lines with Maria Sharapova courtside. Maria, you started off so well. You were taking the ball early, moving Enna Arden corner to corner. Take us through some of these points.
Yeah, I just felt like I was in control of all the points. I think I served well, and from the first ball I was able to move her, and I don't think she moved as well as she did it to the end of the match, so I think I got an advantage from that.
And then what happens? You're up 2 breaks in the second set.
Yeah.
Here's the point from the third. You ran up to it quickly.
Yeah. Things turn around really quickly. That's tennis for you. But I was able to come back. In Australia, I was in the situation where I lost how many match points, but I think this time, I told myself, whatever. You already lost once. Let's not do it again. So come on.
Funny you say that because Mary Jo was talking about it and saying, I wonder if Maria remembers those 3 match points. How about the back problem after the second set?
Yeah, I've been having a back problem for a little while already, but I think I did so much running today, and it was just getting tighter as the match went on. But I got some treatment, and I don't know if it helped. I just try to forget about it when you're on the court, and when you're competing, you just try to forget about it. I'll go out and I'll take care of it, and hopefully I'll be back fresh.
Well, it seemed like you played even better in the third. Maybe perhaps because you had that injury, you were a little bit looser and you went for more.
Well, I knew that I had to go for more because all of a sudden she was getting a lot more balls back, and she was making me play a lot more balls, and I wanted to come to the net even though I hesitated a few balls in the second set. I wanted to move forward, and I think by trying to move forward I opened up my shots, my approach shots better.
So this is the first time you've played against her. She's a 3-time slam champion. What are your feelings about her game just in general, Maria?
Well, I think even when you're 40 love up on your serve, you know that she can come back. She's a huge fighter out there. She has everything in her game: a great slice, a great one-handed backhand, and I think her serve has a great placement as well. So, it's not easy. I'm sure she's going to be back in the top 5 soon.
Well done, Maria. Congratulations.
You're
in the final 4 here of the NASDAQ 100 Open in Miami. A match of contrasts and of seesaw stories with a comeback effort by both players. Maria Sharapova winning it in 3 sets.
I think it was a great mental victory for Sharapova to come back after having those 3 match points in the second. She's able to close it out in the third against a former Grand Slam champion, #1 in the world. Good sign for Anna Ardern, though, in her comeback first tournament since the U.S. Open that she can play at this level.
Andre Agassi coming up against Gaston Gaudio on the French last year, and a huge surprise. See how he performs, Gaudio, on this hard court against Andre.